How are you doing? Miss Murphy, we're going to look at a few questions that I have put together for you that will help you to do well on Monday's quiz. If your quiz may not be Monday. Depends. So the questions that I'm using in this short video are attached to Google Classroom. You probably want to have those with you. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll share my screen here and go like this. Okay, so this might look confusing at first, but hopefully not. All right, we've got a synthesis reaction. So we know that I've got an element reacting with an element and it will form a compound, right? We know that. The element, one of them is element X, and we see that it is in magnesium's group, so it must have a 2+ charge as an ion, right? That would be my cation. And an element Y, which is in nitrogen's group, well, that tells me that it has a 3- charge. They also tell me that Y is diatomic, so this must be my anion. Okay, and we're going to form the compound, and it'll be the compound of XY, right? And then we'll have to figure out what those subscripts are. Okay, so we need to write the reaction. Well, I've got the element X. It's by itself. Is it diatomic? No, they didn't tell us that, so we're left to assume it's not. Do we need to give it its charge? No. This is just the element X. Reacts with Y. Right? It doesn't get a charge. Is by itself. Is it diatomic? Yes, it is. We were told that. All right. So we now know that we're going to have a compound XY between the X cation and the Y anion. X is 2+, Y is 3-. That makes X3Y2. So right here we will have X3Y2. Okay. I now have a balanced chemical. Well, I have an equation. It is not balanced. I see that I simply need to put a 3 right here. All right. There's your answer. Okay, let's look at the next one, shall we? I've got CXHY. So I do not know what the subscripts are, but it tells me that it combusts. I know that that's plus O2, okay? And I see that this is a hydrocarbon and it's combusting, so I know that I will get water. However, this is impossible to balance because I do not know what the subscripts on my hydrocarbon are. Okay, let's look at the next one, shall we? We have a single replacement reaction. Well, that's typically an element reacting with a compound, right? Okay. This occurs between an alkaline earth metal, X. Okay, so the element is X, and it's an alkaline earth metal. So I know that as a cation, I know that it has a X2+ charge, okay? And it occurs between a compound, X, and a compound that contains an alkaline earth metal and carbonate. So this compound also has an alkaline earth metal, Y. I'll make it Y. I didn't tell you, but I should have, which is 2+, and carbonate, just CO3, 2-. So that makes YCO3, because those 2's will cancel. So what we have here is a reaction between the element X and the compound. Okay, the other things here are just, this is element X in its ionic form, and these are the compounds separated into ions. So let's come over here and write our reaction. We've got our element X plus our compound YCO3. We know that this is single replacement. Let's look at our ions. X is a cation, right? So X will replace Y, And X will now be with the negative carbonate, right? Because positives and negatives go together, and Y will be out by himself. All right, boom. So what that means is Y will be by himself. We have no reason to believe that Y is diatomic. It's not. We were not told that. And it's positive. There are not positive diatomics for the most part. And we will have X with a +2 charge going with CO3 with a 2 negative charge. That makes X CO3. And the equation is already balanced. Okay, let's look at the next one. Number 4, a single replacement reaction. So that means we're going to have an element plus a compound occurs between a nonmetal Y that is diatomic and as an ion has a charge of 2 negative. A little typo there. So I know that as an ion, it's 2 negative, okay? And a compound that contains an alkali metal, well, M, if it's an alkali metal, it has a +1 charge. And an element from nitrogen's group, Z. So that will be Z because it's from nitrogen's group, that's that. So this compound is formed between this cation and this anion. So that would be M3Z, right? So the element that's reacting is my diatomic Y2. It's reacting with M3Z, okay? Now let's look at our anions. I've got this one here, and this one here. So since Y is by itself, it's negative, right? It's by himself and he's negative. Y is going to take the place of Z, and Z is going to be out by himself, and we will have Y and M together. I will put M with Y because M is positive. M is +1, Y is a 2 negative, so I will have M 2Y, and 2 is by themselves, Z. And we were not told that Z was diatomic. Did I do something wrong? I need to make sure because we have a, let's see, let's put a 2 here, a 3 here, a 2 here, and a 3 Y's. I don't know. Let's do 3/2. Yeah. Make sure I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. I feel like I did something wrong. Okay, let's look at the next one. I'm not sure if I did something wrong there. I kind of had a brain fart. Okay, a reaction occurs between 2 compounds. Compound plus compound. Okay. Compound 1 contains an alkaline earth metal M. So that's my cation. And because it's an alkaline earth metal, I know that it has a 2+ charge. That's my cation. And phosphorus, which is 3 negative, that's my anion. Okay? The second compound contains an alkaline earth metal. We'll make that X. It's alkaline earth metal, so it's a 2+ charge. And dihydroxide, so that would be OH negative. So this would be my cation, right? And this would be my anion. Write the balanced chemical equation. Well, over here, I would have M3P2, right? Crisscross. And XOH2 yields. Now, realize how easy this is. I'm just going to put him with him. So that's MOH2 plus, and then I'm going to put him with him, always positive first, X3P2, right? I've got 3 X's there, so I'll need a 3 here, I'll need a 3 here, and everything should be good. The only one that felt weird was that one a moment ago. I'm not sure what I might have done weird there. Okay, I hope this helps. I'll see you later. Let's see what I do. Stop and then ends. I can't remember.